What's up, everybody? I'm T-Nut.
And I'm 10 Too Quick.
And this is Unstoppable Footprint. Man, we got somebody dope for y'all today. And I know we always say that, but we really do.
We really do.
We got Timmy Young with Kinyon's Elite.
King.com.
Kinyon's Elite barbecue sauce. Oh.
It's not a barbecue sauce.
It is a condiment.
It is a condiment. You see the tiger fish?
So can you tell them more about, where they can get that condiment from?
So Kinyon's Elite sauce, it's a condiment because you can use it on multiple things. Now it is sold locally here in Oklahoma City at Bill Camp's Meat Market as well as the local Homeland stores. And it's in the condiment aisle, not in the barbecue section.
That's why you would never find it. Because you're looking in the barbecue section and it is not there.
That's correct. And also you can go online to Heavenly Taste LLC.com and look on the website and order from there, or look up under Kinyons.com and we'll mail it to you.
Yeah, we'll mail it to you.
What's really neat about the sauce, the name of it. First of all, the name of it came. I had this recipe. The recipe is very old, 70+ years of age, and I wanted to name it after my grandson. But I couldn't make the announcement because no one knew the grandson's name. I had to wait a little while before he go all the way through.
Sorry for the delay.
Yeah. So it got delayed a few months because we didn't want to go public, and I wanted to honor my daughter's wishes. Yeah. And so that's named Kinyon's for my grandson, and then Elite was the restaurant, the cafe that made it famous. And so at Elite Cafe in Shawnee, this sauce was served for many years. Now the difference today compared to then was that I've taken out the sodium, a lot of the sodium, and all the fat. Yeah. And so now this is a very more natural Carolina sauce. It's not as thin as the people in Carolina would have it to be, but it doesn't have all the fat in it. So now you can pour it on a salad. My granddaughter likes the spicy with grapes and strawberries and broccoli.
Yeah, you can eat that. You can use it on pretty much anything that you want to eat.
Yes.
Get some Kinyon's Elite and get the meat. No.
So what got you into wanting to create a sauce? Was or as far as that genre of food?
Well, what had actually happened was that I was operating Young's Gourmet Sweets, where I bake. I make some really good sweets, and I enter in contests and get third-party validation. So I have ribbons from, I got the blue ribbon, the red, the white, green, pink.
You name it.
You name it.
Moving.
And so I've been as low as 8th place at the state fair in different contests, and I've gotten a few blue ribbons. But as I was pushing that, my baked goods and working at the snow cone stand, a person introduced this back to me. And this recipe has been around since the late 1940s, being served, and it was made famous like that at the restaurant there. And I told the person after I tasted it, because it's been off the market since the mid-90s, I believe it is, been off the market for a long time. And as soon as I tasted it, I said, man, if you ever want to sell this recipe, let me know. But until that point, I continued to buy it. And so the person that was making it, I was buying it by the gallons, and I'm putting it in smaller bottles and then selling it myself.
Yeah.
Because I know to sell because it's extremely good. But eventually I acquired the recipe, and with the business mind that I have, I know that it's going to sell, so I put it out there. And we have a collaboration on the label. Multiple people participated in making the label, but the sauce, man, it's very, very tasty, and that's all the things you can put it on. But I'll give you a little secret recipe. If you replace your ketchup in your in your meatloaf with Kinyon's, you can have a whole different flavor.
Yeah.
And so it's finger licking good. It really is. But
both of them. I like the spicy one. Myself, I don't really eat spicy food like that, but that is like the right amount of spicy for me.
I feel like I failed. in the sense of like we're around each other so much.
Ain't never had none.
You never had any? Well, one of the things that we're doing now is I have a couple of students who are helping me this semester. They attend the local college, and what they're doing this semester, they're taking a sauce and a whatever cracker or a piece of meat, whatever, and they're recording the responses of people who taste it for the very first time. So I think we're gonna have you on camera tasting for the first time.
Hey.
Oh yeah, you already
Good.
know that.
He gonna be like,
you already know. Hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna run that one back definitely.
Yeah, that is like that.
Because you know that can happen sooner than later.
Yeah, it's a good selling point. But like I say, the people who respond negatively, they've all had mustard allergies.
oh yeah.
One that I've experienced. And if you have mustard allergy, you're gonna taste that mustard that's in the Carolina sauce. And so the Carolina sauce is it's mustard vinegar based. Then you add the other spices to go along with it, and it's a great combination. I was wanting to get somebody famous to endorse it. And one day we were at this play, Phantom of the Opera, and at halftime we were out in the lobby, and I saw Barry Switzer. And Barry Switzer, I'd seen him eat this sauce before, so I kind of waited for him. And he finally he finally gave me an opportunity to speak with him, and I introduced myself and so forth. And I asked him, I said, "Do you remember when you came to Shawnee with Lucia Selman in 1975, and you came to Elite Cafe, and you guys had some ribs?" And he didn't just say yes. He said, "Yeah." He said, "That was the best Carolina sauce I ever had." He said, "That mustard vinegar base and that spices, it was the best I've ever had anywhere in the world." So I didn't even ask the rest of the question. And that was at the time that I asked him. That was 44 years later.
That's crazy.
44 years, but Barry Switzer, he has
still remember.
You gonna remember that?
He remembered it, and so for those of you who's had it, you remember it also. But the thing that when you go up to Shawnee and you're eating this, anywhere you go in the world, you're gonna compare that sauce. Of course, at the time it was a barbecue sauce. You're gonna compare the barbecue sauces in the ribs to what we had in Elite Cafe, because it was definitely one of the best in the world.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. So you said Shawnee. I know that's originally where you're from, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I ain't get that wrong. So Jazzy, I was on it. I was on it.
That's right.
Originally from Shawnee, and that's pretty much the whole family.
My dad and mom family, yes.
Yeah, the Youngs.
We actually come out of Brooksville, all black town. Brooksville.
Yeah. We did our little dabble in Brooksville.
Okay.
We did our Black Towns tour when we were in college. And
okay.
Played at all of the black towns, and it was pretty dope. I'm mad they don't do that no more. But
that was actually something.
That's crazy. Shout out to the BZ era once again.
But it's coming back.
Yeah.
Black Towns of Oklahoma coming back. We're going to promote Black Towns. We're currently working to bring tourism. Tourism is already here in Oklahoma. Folks coming from all across the world. These bus tours. There's a motorcycle tour led by Derek Smith, the young black mayor. My man.
The young black mayor.
Yeah, man.
Derek and I, we're collaborating on a couple of things, and so we are, promoting, black towns in Oklahoma, and so the things are there, and so eventually, my goal is to take these the sauce and a couple other things and have it manufactured in one of these black towns.
Mm-hmm.
Get your factory there.
Yes.
That's going to create jobs in that whatever town that you guys decide.
Create jobs, build that town up. I said town. Oh my gosh. I had to get to the end of town.
Send.
Build that town up, and just create different opportunities, because people do bring factories in town and create what they do.
That's right.
At least people will understand what's being made here, who's making it, why it's being made, and the origins of where it came from and what the plans are.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, it would build leaders, more leaders in whatever town, because if you have a person that has to learn how to use certain equipment, then they have to teach it. That just made them a leader to be able to teach whatever they're learning, whatever the manufacturing, the social media. If you learn it and you can teach it, then you just became that much more of a leader in whatever that is.
That's right. We have a T, a 2, and a T that Terrence.
Yeah.
But this is teach to teach. We have to teach people to teach other people.
Right.
And so whenever you take the kind of synopsis, if you take Kinsley sauce and we move it, say, to bowling, there we can bring in all the different equipment that's going to be making the sauce that's necessary. That's going to be the same equipment that's going to be necessary to make other products as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Dual purpose.
And so we also manufacture spicy crackers. And so, we have spicy crackers every year during our
That's the joints in the bags. What are those called?
yes. Well, they come in a bag. What kind of bag?
I just
The
see,
crackers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we make spicy crackers, but to be able to do that on a larger scale, which I do have labels for, and I like to produce them and send them out there. But we do all this, and we send it to our different retail stores to be sold in our black communities across Oklahoma. And so, build what we're doing collectively, as a group of people, is just we're just putting our money together and building the economy. And so within the Black American economy will run parallel with the American economy.
Yeah.
But we know the facts. We
Yeah.
don't have a
We
whole
wouldn't even have, we
separation.
wouldn't even have to say Black America no more. We
No.
can just say what we want to say and then go with it.
That's right.
And not be, subject to what's already been happening. And, we can, blend in.
Yeah, that's like it's like there's nothing. It's not disrespectful to say like Black America
No.
and then America, but if you think about it, the fact of that was probably next. But the comedians, you have all comedians, but if somebody goes on stage and they introduce somebody as a Black comedian or a Mexican comedian or whatever, it makes them feel like, well, why can't I just be
a regular comedian?
Yeah.
You're taking something away from me, but it's crazy because we have to put those emphases. We have to do it because people don't understand it no other way. We understand it our way and we understand the other way.
Yeah.
They
understand it their way and that's it.
For the most part.
Yeah.
As an educator, I can say it like this: we're colonized, we're educated based on the way they want us to speak. We learn their language. When you put a D on the end of a word that has supposed to be an S, that would have been a problem if we were colonized.
Yeah.
But because it's been recognized. So we know how to speak, but whenever we go to school, we only taught what they want to teach us. We only taught a certain part of the map. The United States is not in the middle of the world, as they always have.
Right.
We're not in the middle. We don't have the equator coming through here. The equator is much further south. We're not, we right in this middle of most maps. The Mercury map has the Greenland really large, and then you have South America really small. And that's not how it is. And,
right.
Alaska is 3 times larger than Texas, but it is not that. Canada is not as huge as they have it on these maps, which causes the distortion at the ends. But they get into our heads, and so I'm gonna throw a cheap plug in. I got a book coming out called "Brainwash to Whitewash," which is the unconscious shape of the American mind.
Hey, that's a cheap plug. Hey, that's gold.
This book it identifies how we have been trained, and it's mainly my story of growing up and being, in Shawnee, Oklahoma, where we have 4% Black. And here I am, one of the most popular people in town, and I went back to look at it and how I got to be at that point. Being an athlete, but I never made any strangers.
Right.
And we had 349 people in my senior class, and it was 6 of us that were Black, and I was chosen to be president. And so I'm like, hey, maybe I got a little something going on, but I bet the rest of the world is, no, brother, you still Black.
let me just remind you.
Nah, brother, you still Black.
And so, you get bucked down to size. And it was pretty interesting. But, I've gone, climbed the ladder, so to speak. And then one day it hit me like, I hit the ceiling. It's a glass ceiling. I didn't know it was there. You could see what's on the other side, but that glass ceiling, you hit the tops. There are restrictions for people who aren't in that majority color, and so it caused an issue. And so that system is there, and that system exists whether you want to accept it or not.
It's a good old boy system. It ain't never changed. It is what it is. You can only get so high without certain people, and that's life. And no matter what level you on, and
there's certain people that try to make sure you don't get past a certain
level. That can sometimes think they can control your destiny. You just gotta maybe take another route that might take you a little longer, but they could have directly plugged you in like they do everybody.
Yes. Could have made it easy, but you know what? I'm gonna tell everybody, they can't nobody stop the destination that God has for you.
Not at all.
It ain't gonna happen, because what's already been destined for you, you're gonna get to that point. And we said take advantage and make sure that we do the right thing when we get there. But the thing about it is that, you know, the Bible says, you know, in the New Testament over 100 times that the words are one another. That means we got to have each other to help each other out.
Yeah,
So,
it's more than one person. Like we
Yeah,
need each other. It's expressing how much we're needing each other, and it's saying it over and over and over and over and over. I mean, we just took that concept into life. That's what it is.
Anybody who's like, oh, I made it to the top by myself.
Come on now.
Well, you won't be there long. Because if you make it to the top and you last a long time up there, because nobody stays at the top. No matter what. Nobody stays at the top, but if you make it to the top, the longer you stay, we'll see that will tell how many people it took to get you there with help. Because if you saying, oh, I made it to the top by myself, all those people that helped you, you're like, well, you won't be there long because your support's gone now.
Your resources just pulled from under you because you said you did it all by yourself.
You realize you're only standing on a little piece of ground that we are all raising up. So that's what feels like the top. You saying you did it by yourself? This first, and now you back on the ground.
No, the only jobs to start at the top are ditch diggers. Now you start at the top.
Yeah.
You know,
Where you way down.
But yeah, so you know, as we continue to move forward, you know, as a nation, as we come together, you know, we're able to, you know, buy from each other. You know, we start publicizing. This is, you know, the stuff of the footprint is definitely an avenue that's out there that's reaching many people. And as we continue to bond and be interwoven, you know, sharing ideas, you know, get information out there, we'll be able to do a lot more. But we have to have our own media. You know what I'm saying? This area is a piece of media. This is, you know, kind of reminds me of Roland Martin. You know, he did not start where he is. You know, he worked himself up. And what you guys have going, you know, I've watched many episodes, and, you know, you just keep doing it because this is reaching many people out there, and you never know what God is going to say through you to reach somebody else.
Right.
You know, somebody can be having the worst day in their life, but they turn on one of the episodes here and hear something and say, oh, that's what I got to do. And it just triggers, and it allows you to go somewhere else because, you know, we never know what anybody else is going through. So you know, keep following your heart, keep following your passions, because you're going to be able to get there. Because this is an outlet that we all need.
Right.
We need that space to share, you know, what's going on. And, you know, I'm invited here to talk about, you know, Kinsley. So that's you know, that's some mad stuff. And you know, the different locations that we. The things that we miss most about it is that whenever COVID came in, we can't go to the festivals and fairs as we once did, and then we just hadn't gotten back into that routine.
I mean, it slowed everything down, and people ain't even sure if it's what's going on.
They don't know if it's gonna pick up or not,
or what's picking up.
You don't realize the reason it was speeding and doing all of these different activities is possible because people was going to it. The trust is gone. Like, I can't shake nobody's hand because I don't know if you washed your hands. Right. Like, man, you never knew that back in the day.
Nobody ever knew that.
You should always wash your hands. That was before COVID. Wash your hands.
It was still a thing.
Yeah.
So for people that go, I don't trust it, I ain't going nowhere. Like, okay, well, that's cool. That's also your choice.
That's right. Personal choice. You know?
It's your choice. So
we had an opportunity. I think it was probably last October or sometime. We got a chance to bury one of my friends, and he didn't believe in, you know, that it existed. But he was able to had an opportunity to be in that hospital for a while and coughing, and he gave up the ghost and went to his funeral. He didn't believe that it existed.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Somebody who did. I felt like I seen that too. I feel like I seen that somewhere. It might not be wasn't nobody that close, but you know, a lot of people didn't believe. I mean, everybody ain't lying about everything.
No,
but see, that's the problem.
But people are lying about something.
Yeah, once you have that little bit of somebody lying about something, nobody knows what it is. Yeah, everybody got something to say about it. So now you got a truth in there somewhere, but the stack of lies is like
they just
covering it up.
I like to share with you that there's this dude by the name of Thomas Sowell, and this is the beginning of my book. This is how it starts off. Thomas Sowell says, some things are believed because they are demonstrably true, but many other things are believed simply because they have been asserted repeatedly, and repetition has been accepted as a substitute of evidence.
Yep.
And
You
so,
you see it, it's visually to you, it's in your face. You're like, all right, I know what that is. You can't tell me what this is. I seen it on the TV.
over and over and over.
Mhm.
And so, just because you see it, don't make it true. One thing I've seen consistently for many years, and I quit monitoring this a few months ago, but Channel 9 local news was my news source for years. And one thing that they did very consistently during this period of time was there was at least one black person on there every show committing charged with a crime or something with crime. And so it makes it look like through everybody else that black folks are associated with crime.
All the time.
And so that's how we're being brainwashed, just put in our head. Then we had this.
It's because it's who controls the media. Who's showing you the news?
It's right. It's their message.
I mean, it's through the cable companies that you buy, and you're like, those channels don't even come through cable companies. Most of the time, you can get those without cable.
With the little trick, I like to call satellite. No.
But yeah, it's like they show you whatever, and then you kind of don't know what to believe unless you do your own research.
And that's what you're supposed to do is your own research.
And that's where we are. And one of the things that what we need in our communities is we need more authors. We need more black men writing books so our children have something to read about. Because whenever you don't have anything to read, then you don't read. The books that they give our students at school have nothing to do with with Roshan going home and walking through his neighborhood. It's always somebody else's neighborhood. We have to do our due diligence and make sure that the next generations are listening to us.
From our perspective.
That's right. And as we write it, we can share what it was like. I can share my experience of being an athlete, growing up in Shawnee and playing college ball. And then after that, I became a game official. And as a game official, that's how we get back on the field in a football game. Right. That's where the clock is going. Otherwise, you can get a band, you gotta wait to halftime. Team man, you gotta wait.
You gotta wait.
You have to wait for being on the field as a referee. But I received some of the ugliest treatment on the field. Where wearing my black and white stripes, I think, why is it like this? I represent, neutrality. I'm not for either team. I don't care who wins. I'm here to make sure the game goes the way it's supposed to go.
Right.
But I remember being at this one location, and we normally eat free at the concession stands, and I wanted to get me something to eat, and they said, well, that's gonna be $3. I don't remember. It's going to cost you $3. I said, man, you just gave my partners over here the same thing I did. You didn't charge them. Why are you charging me? I said, because you're going to have to pay. I tell you what, I'll be back. I'll be back. And I went and took care of business and spoke to the person who, was the coordinator to get us there. But I'm like, why you want me to pay? These white dudes ain't pay nothing. Why you want me to pay?
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
Things be a little bit unfair. So, we get a chance to see, how people are exposed.
It's crazy we gotta fight for so much just to be fair. Just not it ain't like we trying to just go over it. We just trying to get to level playing field.
That's right. Well, one thing has been proven: you give Black Americans a level playing field, and we dominate.
Yeah, that's scary. Even without a level playing field, sure, it still can be domination.
I mean, but a lot of people make the argument like, if we were to get to that level, then there'll be a whole lot more soft black people because they don't have nothing to fight for no more. I'm like, man,
you
look,
have to have something to fight. I mean,
everybody got something to fight for because it's life. You're fighting every day for something. Yeah. I don't care if it is the same job you always go to. You fighting to make it do that. I don't care. But yeah, so to have that thought process of if we get that, we all gonna be soft. It's like, man, get there.
Let's get there and talk
about
the stories. Let's talk about it when we get there.
Stories like what you were saying is writing books is gonna, like, so many people that didn't know about Tulsa race riots and all of that stuff, but they know now. More people know now because it's like it was a surprise that so many people didn't know. They start putting it on TV and
now
everything.
It's been shown. That's what I'm saying. Now people it's crazy now. People are seeing it. It's like, man, so why don't y'all believe racism was real? As much as they showed y'all that, y'all just swore to death that was nothing.
Yeah, because it did not affect them. And I'm gonna just correct your statement. That wasn't a race riot. That was a massacre.
Yeah.
Because what took place, black folks were successful, and this is one of the things that I may have mentioned this earlier, but the Red Summer. That was summer of 1919, and we had folks coming back from World War I, coming back to America, and white folks was coming back, and these men didn't have a job to go to because women were now in the workplace, so their jobs were taken up, so they're unemployed. But the black folks came back to the black communities, and guess what? They went to work in their communities. Jealousy took over, okay, and all of a sudden here's a piece of fire, and they start burning down businesses and houses and scaring black folks all across America during the summer of 1919. And then in 1921, this situation takes place in Tulsa, and jealousy again. But in Tulsa, you have the richest community, and they said you compare Wall Street, Black Wall Street, Greenwood at that time is comparable to Lower Manhattan in New York today. That's how much. That's how large the economy was.
That's crazy.
And so you get all this going on, and folks just I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe it. Now, it happened, and they swept underneath the rug. They hid it. They tried to do the exact same thing with January 6th.
Yeah.
So the January 6th committee, that's the reason why we're watching on TV. They said we're gonna let everybody know. We're gonna let everybody know what is going on in this country. But for us to have to deal with all the things that that we've been seeing over the years, racism. There's nothing about America that's not racist.
There's nothing. I mean,
nothing. The foundations are racist, and the biggest lie that we get told, man, America was founded on Christian principles. Well, the principles of people. Because if you left that country over there because you want to get away from the Catholicism, and you come over here and you create another religion that we can have freedom of religion. Somebody's lie is not matching up. But you tell us over and over and over again, we gotta
believe it all though. We gotta believe both sides and millions of lies. But it's like, we just know we here and we treated unfair. I was born here, and I was born to be treated unfair. It's like, man, this is not. And everybody's not dealing with that. What is it, stigmatism like that? Is that the right word?
No, stigmatism is something to do with the eyes.
I knew it.
It's the stigma. It's close enough.
Hey. We gotta call Miss Liz to get to the tisms.
Oh no.
Yeah, but it's that stigma that's been going on. So people never understand, like, as growing up, we got to deal with more than just growing up. We got to deal with being black too.
Yeah, possibly not growing up.
Right.
I mean, everybody got the possibility of a young death, but the probability of you being black.
It's just so many hands built and designed to keep you down.
They are. And we know that these things exist, and one of the things that we're working with, within our Black Wall Street Project group, we're also bringing people together so that we can, as we put our participate community economics, we're looking at putting together this area in Mobile, Alabama. In northeast Mobile, Alabama, there's a place called Africatown. In Africatown, it was named Africatown because that's where, in 1860, these brothers decided they want to go get some more slaves after the slave trade ended in 1808. They went to Africa, got some more slaves, brought them over, and dropped them off right there. And then they ended up, trying to sink the boat, burning the boat. So they found that boat called the Clotilda in 2018. Okay, so they raised it. I don't know if they raised it all the way back up, but there's a whole area. Well, what we want to do is put our money together and build that area up as a memorial. Now, Louis Cudjoe is one of the names. Cudjoe Lewis, which document you're looking at. It was one of the people that was on the boat, and the family's still living. So they're in Africatown. It still look like any other black town in America going down MLK. But we'd like to, take our money and build that place up, and have it as a foundation there in kind of like it is a national park now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And so, but that area, you know, in Mobile has so much potential. And so we take our monies as we put it together and we build up, you know, what's downtown Mobile and, you know, the different shops that they have. There's so much opportunity. 51% black, that means that white folks understand black folks in here. It ain't like it is here, you know, in Oklahoma where we're dominating you there, it'll never come up. Be the racist you want to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I've dealt with it all my life.
Maneuver with the Ruger.
Maneuver with the Ruger.
But that's one of the things that we like to do. You know, there's a port. I think Carnival Cruise Lines and possibly Disney ports, you know, there with their cruises.
Yeah.
And so it's always a lot of folks going there. But that'd be a good resort area. But as we come together, you know, we can put these things, you know, have these ideas and collectively start building out. And like I say, as we teach our children, you know, we want to make sure everything that we do is going to be a learning exercise. Everything you can be reading about what took place here, and you know what the future holds, and you know who the important people were in this area.
Right.
But we need to be taught. But we have to teach each other. We have to teach each other to teach. And so, like I said, we all have, you know, young men to raise, and you know that's the most important thing is to make sure we have, you know, fathers in the homes.
Right.
But education is important, because what I see happening right now is that in our education program, we got a direct pipeline to prison. You know, if you look at the number of people get shot in the back, you know when they get shot in the back? Because they're not listening. So if you walk off, they shoot you. You get shot. Supreme Court said, you know, there was a line of duty there, right? We'll let them know. That's why I call them, they're not being
Yeah, you gotta listen to me as soon as I get there.
that's right.
Well, you, sir, are human just like me. You don't even know what's going on. You just pulled up. You don't even know, bro.
Yeah. Getting excited. You know, too many folks are getting excited when they become police officers. But
Man.
do you know where police officers started? Do you know why they became in existence?
Who was that? New York? Was it New York?
I have to slice.
Or LAPD? Or was it New York? I don't know.
They're called slave patrols.
That makes sense.
They were created to go round up the slaves and bring them back. What they doing nowadays? Where all these private prisons, why are they being built? Who you gonna put in them?
Puerto Ricans.
You gotta get them here first.
They had them at the one I worked at. They was definitely in there, but they sent them all right back to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, them private prisons is big money.
Big money.
For people who still involve themselves in legal slave trade.
Right.
Yeah.
A sad
That's
thing.
what it is legal slave trade.
That's right. It is, according to the 13th Amendment of our Constitution, it says that we will not have slavery any longer, right? Unless you are convicted of a felony. If you're convicted of a felony, you have the right to be a slave. That's when you put you in prison, you're a slave now.
Mm-hmm.
How many slaves do we know walking the streets? They got a felony.
Yeah.
If you have a felony, that felony's not coming off until someone pardons that.
Mm-hmm.
If it ever gets pardoned.
If it doesn't, then you're a slave. And so we don't have a slave trade going, but we still have slavery happening. We still have people being housed, you know, being warehoused in these private prisons.
Yeah.
One of the saddest things I discovered within the last 10 years is that as a teacher, you know, we have the Oklahoma Teacher Retirement System. Part of our funding, our mutual funds and these people, goes to CCA. You know? Corporations of America, building private prisons. So my money is invested in those students I'm teaching. Oxymoron.
Mm-hmm.
Oxymoron. And that does not make me feel good on one side, but economically I'm feeling right.
Yeah.
Feeling all right.
It's tough. It's tough.
Did we miss anything?
We went way off the deep end, but it's
all
cool.
good.
It's
because
cool.
it became an education.
Great minds think alike. I just was looking over at them Kinyon sauces again.
I look at them. They're pretty.
They are. They are. Well, y'all know what time it is. Hey, here on the Footprint, we ask every guest to come on that they render a freestyle to the Footprint community.
Freestyle to the Footprint community coming up sometime. Whenever.
Now.
About to get it going. All right. Am I supposed to be running?
I don't like it.
How about that? To all my little brothers out there, I want you to hear my words. As you go through your life, as you go through the classroom, listen to the words of your teachers. Learn all you can, get all you can get. Be everything that you were made to be. Don't slack up anywhere. Have respect. Respect your elders. If you don't respect this, learn it. But whatever you do, make sure you know who your enemy is. Your enemy does not look like you. Does not look like you. Does not walk like you nor talk like you. Know your goals. Always look forward. Do your best in all things. And remember, everyone is working together to see your success.
Hit him with the affirmations.
Man.
Yeah.
Nice. No idea those words are going to come out of my mouth.
Hey, you never do, but
And I don't know what I said.
Hey.
Oh, we got it.
Hey.
We got it.
Dropping them gems and them knowledge,
Wow.
man. We definitely appreciate you, Mr. Timmy Y. We call you Timmy Y because that's
It always leads to Timmy Y. Timmy Y told me to.
Timmy Y.
Like what? Timmy Y.
But Timmy Young coming through with Kinsley.
Yes, sir.
I mean, dropping that sauce.
It's the sauce. It's the condiment.
The condiment.
I was about to point at another.
It's cool. Hey, but y'all know how we say here on the footprint: shine a light,
Build a legacy.
leave a footprint.
And we'll see y'all next week.
We out. Peace.